Good day and welcome to the channel. In this short video, we are going to provide a full review of the Grand Palladium Resort and Spa in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. We're going to go over where it is and why it matters. We'll go over the layout with a focus on the pools and the beach. We'll go over the rooms, the service. We'll spend some time on food. Then we'll go over activities, and then we'll provide an overall review. The first thing you need to know is where it is. It's on the west side of Mexico, and what that means to you is it's not likely subject to hurricanes. Most hurricanes come in on the Gulf of Mexico side. And you can see here that this is what we left. Yeah, now fortunately the temperatures we were going in Mexico, it's always upper 20s, so around 80, 85. This is the front gate, and as you walk in, you are greeted with this palatial building. It is where the visitors come and go. You don't actually spend any time here. It's just the check-in center. And while we look around, let's go over a couple of things about the resort. It was built in 1999, and it was last renovated, well, serious renovation in 2014, but it's in very good condition. Most sites have it rated as 4-star, and I think everyone will agree with that. As you can see, this gigantic roof has the structure is designed to impress, and it does. On the left is registration, so you use that to check in and check out, deal with the porters. And on the right here is where you book your restaurants and where the tour operators are, if you want to book day trips. This store had actually a little more than I would have expected. Prices were reasonable, and the quality of the product was pretty good. And in front of us is where the main entertainment takes place. There's bars everywhere, as you might expect. And now we're on to what you're actually here for, the beach and the pools. You can see very clean, it's very open. We were there when it was moderately busy. I believe the resort was at 75% utilization. By the way, that pool that we're looking at right here is the family pool. It's the one everybody uses. And on the left here is a common area, but it can be rented out. You can see that there's a wedding here. This is a bar at the main pool, and on the other side of this, it's Swim Up, which was very popular, no surprise. But then you get onto the adult pool, which is where we spent most of our time. The kids were actually pretty well behaved in the other pool, but yeah, this one's better. You can see it's quieter, and it gets a beautiful view. We'll go down the stairs here in a moment and go across the pool, and what everybody is looking at are whales. We saw whales in this particular shot. I think there were 3 whales that were jumping out of the water and breaching, I think it's called. During our entire time there, we did see them a few times, which was quite nice. It wasn't just a completely isolated incident. And looking back on the adult pool, you can see that there are rooms that are right there. We were in the 3rd room over on the ground floor. We actually asked to get moved because while it's not noisy, it's not quiet. They play music here till I think it's midnight, and it was just a little too much for us, so we asked to be moved, and they had no trouble with us. And here we're out in the water, we're out on a peninsula. You can see the beaches, you can see the whole resort. Now on the top left, you'll notice that there's a private building. You have to be part of a special club to get into that, although we walked up there a number of times. Here we're just walking along the beach just to give you an idea of what the beach looks like. You can see here it's a bit rocky, but it is not rocky further down. On the left here, which we'll turn to in a moment, you'll see that there is a nice place to get massages on the beach. While that was good, we decided to go somewhere else, which we'll show you in a bit. Here we're just walking around the resort at this point, just to show you what's available. And you can see that there's the things for all ages. And we'll get to kids stuff and some other things in a minute. But this is, again, just to give you a sense of what's available. And here we have some tennis courts, which, you know, people played soccer on them. Football, if you prefer. Basketball was also available. And this was a really windy day, but it was quite nice, and we did spend some time in the hammocks on multiple days. Now, we also went up to this private travel club, and we just walked up, and we had no troubles, nobody bothered us, we just did it. And we were looking at this from the peninsula a minute ago. And here we are off to the rooms. can see, like in a lot of resorts, the hallways are open, they're exposed to the elements, but it's kept very clean. Now let's go into one of the rooms, which was our room, and take a look at it. Now you notice that we use a wristband to swipe in, which is kind of nice. It means you can't forget it, you can't lose it. Alright, so here's our room. We've been here for a few days, and you can see it is clean and modern and in generally good condition. We had no particular issues. The shower was fine. We did not use the jacuzzi, but it was there. Fair amount of storage, which I needed for my dresses. No, that wasn't mine. There are connecting rooms, as you could see on the left, if that's what was important to you. We ended up with 2 queen beds. We just pushed them together. It was fine. They comes fully stocked with food and drinks. The little bar fridge. They have lots and lots of water for you to take. It's just all included as part of the room. What a nice view. And when we look out here, we're going to show you the little tiny deck that's all but unusable, which is why we show it. It's really here to say that there's a little deck, but yeah, you really can't do much other than dry your clothes off on it. But what you can do is you can look down on that private club, and we're going to go into that club in just a minute, and we'll show you what you can do for dining and what they do with that deck that's out there that you're looking at right now. We had very good staff, and they got us into that private club that we were talking about. If you look down on the bottom left, you'll see that somebody was setting up. Now in the center, you'll see that it's a setting up for this private event for just a family. Apparently it was their 20th anniversary. Now, speaking of service, let's get on to the food, because, you know, it's a resort and everybody wants to know the food. So you go up the stairs to the main buffet. Hola. And yeah, the food's pretty good. So this is evening. The breakfasts were actually really good. One of the things we should point out is that we didn't notice any signs for food allergies, you know, things like may contain nuts, or my daughter's case, because she is celiac, we didn't see anything for wheat allergies or barley or, you know, dairy for that matter. And we typically stay at resorts that have that. This one did not. At least we didn't see any attempt to do that. Now, my daughter was not with us on this trip, so it's possible they were there and we just weren't paying close enough attention. The food was pretty good, though. This in the morning is the omelet station, and wow, did they do a great job with that. Often at this station there's things like sashimi. Just really fresh, very, very tasty, very healthy stuff. Love the blue cheese myself. It wasn't just, you know, cheap cheddar and things like that. It was, you know, some good quality food. A lot of it made right in front of you, some of it sitting waiting for you, like this. And that gets to the point of tipping. We tipped typically $1 for most of these meals, especially at breakfast, you know, where somebody was making us an omelet. But it wasn't required. Most people didn't. And there was no problem with it. We didn't get any special treatment for tipping the big buck either. In addition to the buffet, there's also these specialty restaurants, which are run by the resort, and you can book into these multiple times. You can see that the food is very good. There's an Italian one, a Mexican one, a Japanese one. We were pretty impressed with them. You can see some of the food, just delicious. We quite liked the Italian one, and we loved the Mexican one because they had someone come around making fresh guacamole in front of you at your table, which was stellar. Right in front of the main amphitheater for the evening's entertainment, which they have 7 nights a week, is this bar and a nice seating area. And there's also a place where you can play the Xbox, you can shoot pool, you can watch TV, there's food there. Here we are at the amphitheater, kids shows earlier in the night. Then we get on to the adult entertainment. There's some really good singing, actually. It's not usually my thing, but it was pretty good. And these acts were also quite entertaining. Let's just walk around and show you some of the other facilities related to entertainment and activities. You can see there's a kids club, in case you don't have a baby, which we did show you the baby stuff earlier. Baby stuff, and now we're off to the, I believe it's called the Black and White Club. And in here, there's pool tables and Xboxes and foosball and things like that. They also have a zoo, which I'm not a big fan of zoos, but it was a little more substantial than normal. The animals did seem to be in good condition and treated well. The kids did seem to like it. It was nice to just walk around. There was also meeting areas. This was being used by staff, I think, a training area, but I believe it could be booked for corporate events. Just around the corner from here, they also have an indoor spa, which looked to be in very good condition. Let's just walk around the grounds a bit. Look at this beautiful, giant, ancient tree. And behind it is a church that's all open. Let's take a look inside. Nice place to get married. And that's the adult pool just down there. The grounds really were beautiful, and there was a bit of wildlife, but not too much. We decided to get our massages just down the beach a bit at this place. We just sort of stumbled on it, and they seemed very friendly and helpful, and it was a little bit cheaper. And it's literally a couple hundred feet down the beach. You can see this is a rock beach. It was very nice. We walked all the way to the very end here. Let's talk about going into the city. We ended up taking the bus rather than taxis because the bus was super cheap and it was kind of a fun local thing to do. I believe it cost us, I think it was like $1.50 US each way per person. So, you know, practically free. Went to Bucerias, walked the beach, had a very nice meal, looked at some of the resorts, some of the other hotels that were available. Very good. Really enjoyable. We also found this one, which I wasn't a big fan of, and I thought you'd enjoy the colors. Good for families, I suppose. So what did we think about Grand Palladium Vallarta Resort and Spa? Overall, well, we were pretty impressed with it. Of course, comes with all the free alcohol you can drink, but we didn't partake very much. And we found that others were also quite rational about it, so pretty good for families. We found the building layout and the pool layout to be quite convenient. We didn't feel jammed in at all. The rooms were clean, the service was good. Some of the staff we ended up dealing with were really, really good. They were so friendly and helpful. And I've been in other countries like Jamaica where I have not found the staff to be tremendously helpful. These guys were really good. While we found the food to be very good at the buffet, nice and fresh, good quality, good service, it obviously, like all of these places, does get a bit monotonous after a while. But they have so many of these other restaurants that you can just book into over and over again if you want. But it's not a problem. And we really enjoyed those other restaurants. For activities, we found there was lots to do, although mostly what we wanted to do was nothing. We just wanted to hang out at the beach, have a couple of drinks, watch the surf, and just relax. If you've been to this resort or you have something to add, please add it to the comments section below. In addition to us being interested, other viewers will also be interested. So as a final summary, let me say that the Puerto Vallarta Grand Palladium is a solid 4-star resort. If you found this video useful, please give us the big thumbs up. Subscribe's also appreciated. If you have any questions or concerns, you can leave a question or a comment below, and if we don't get back to you, somebody else will, because it's YouTube. You can always get a hold of us directly at www.partisanissues.com. Thanks and have a great day. Bye-bye.